The next day, as we were being violently storm-tossed, they began to jettison the cargo, and on the third day they threw the ship's gear overboard, even with their own hands. And then neither sun nor stars appeared for many days, and while no small storm was assailing us, from then on all hope that we might be saved was being abandoned. And when they had been a long time without food, Paul then stood in their midst and said, O men, you should have listened to me, and not set sail from Crete, and gained this damage and loss. And now I advise you to cheer up, for there will be no loss of life among you, but only of the ship. And this very night an angel of the God whose I am, and whom I serve, stood by me, saying, Do not fear, Paul. I must stand before Caesar, and behold, God has granted you all those who are sailing with you. Therefore cheer up, men, for I believe God that it shall be so. That it shall be so, even in the way in which it has been spoken to me. But we must run aground on a certain island. But when the 14th night came, as we were being driven about in the Adriatic Sea about the middle of the night, the sailors suspected that some land was approaching them, and they took its soundings, and found it to be 20 fathoms. And when they had gone a little farther, they sounded again, and found it to be 15 fathoms. And fearing that they might run aground somewhere on rocky places, they threw 4 anchors from the stern, and wished for day to come. And when the sailors sought to flee from the ship, having lowered the small boat into the sea, under pretence of intending to lay out anchors from the bow, Paul said to the centurion and the soldiers, Unless these men remain in the ship, you cannot be saved. When the soldiers cut away the ropes on the small boat and let it fall away, and until day was about to come, Paul encouraged them all to take some food, saying, Today is the 14th day that you have continued watching without food, taking nothing. Therefore I encourage you to take some food, for this is for your salvation. For not a hair from the head of any one of you shall perish. And when he had said these things, and had taken bread, he gave thanks to God before all, and broke it, and began to eat. And all became cheerful, and they also took food. Now we were in all 276 souls in that ship. And when they were satisfied with food, they began to lighten the ship, throwing out the wheat into the sea. And when day came, they could not recognize the land. And having landed at Syracuse, we remained 3 days. From there we sailed around and arrived at Rhegium, and after one day a south wind came on, and the second day we came to Puteoli, where having found brothers, we were urged to remain with them 7 days. And thus we came to Rome, and from there the brothers, having heard about the things concerning us, came as far as the market of Appius, and 3 inns to meet us. And when Paul saw them, he thanked God and took courage. And when we entered into Rome, Paul was permitted to remain by himself with the soldier who was guarding him. And after 3 days he called together those who were the leading men of the Jews, and they came together, and he said to them, Men, brothers, though I have done nothing against the people or the customs of our fathers, I have been delivered as a prisoner from Jerusalem into the hands of the Romans, who, having examined me, intended to release me because there was not one cause of death in me. But when the Jews spoke against this, I was compelled to appeal to Caesar. Not that I have anything to accuse my nation of. For this cause, therefore, I have entreated you to see me and speak with me. For on account of the hope of Israel, I have this chain around me. And they said to him, We have neither received letters from Judea concerning you, nor have any of the brothers come and reported or spoken anything evil concerning you. But we think it is fitting to hear from you what you think. For concerning this sect, it is indeed known to us that it is spoken against everywhere.